Sports fans, PB&Z, Sports Chaos, we're coming back at you. And it's kind of a somber day. 1 year ago yesterday, the whole freaking sports world shut down. Remember that, PB?
Yeah, it all started with basketball, right? And then
Rudy Gobert tested positive, and he was a bad guy for that. But I say he was a good guy because the world woke up to that, right?
Exactly. And then just bled right over into college hoops and into hockey, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're going to talk NFL news because it's a carousel with the NFL world. It's a year-round sport now. We got a little prelim about March Madness. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday, St. Patty's as well. And then we're going to talk the contract. Dak gets paid. That's all I'm going to say. But, PB, I got a couple of little things for you in a little 2-minute drill. Did you see this yesterday in the PGA? This guy, I got to see if I get it right. Mahommes at Sawgrass. You ever played at Sawgrass? I never have, but you?
No, it's not too far from where I am, though.
I know. The Players' Championship. He had an ugly shot in the 17th. You remember the 17th? That's the one on the island?
Yep.
11 shots. 6 ended up in the drink. PB, is that? I mean, could you get it on the green in 3?
Probably, yeah.
I you know what? I'll take a pass. I'll walk around. Let's take a pass. I don't know. Hey, by the way, speaking of the PGA, did you see this one? Bryson DeChambeau. We always talk about him, the long driver, right? Last week, he was playing in a tournament. He won, but he just shot. They showed it on ESPN. It was a lake. He hit the thing over the lake, 377 yards. What? If you had a lake in front of you, would you play around it?
Probably, yeah.
Oh my God! All right, hey, NBA All-Star Game. We talked about it last week. PB, I'm tied with the NBA All-Star Game. 170 to 150. Is that a game?
That's a shot.
It's a horse game, is all it is, right? At that point in time, no one's playing defense, right?
Absolutely. That's been like that for years.
Oh, Jalen and Jason from the Celtics, right? Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they both won the three-point shooting contest. I personally think three-point shooting contest is like the home run hitting contest. What happens with that, PB? It affects your swing. You start doing the wrong things, and you get out of sync. My case in point, Jalen shot 5 for 23 last night in the first game after the All-Star break. Is the three-point shooting contest a curse?
I don't think so. I don't think it's the same. It's because you're shooting threes in practice. It's just a fluid motion. It's not like hitting. Like they're swinging out of their mind in the home run contest, and they're talking. No, they are, and they're talking their body. Right. They're probably talking their body in a way that they're just not used to doing. And I think that can throw them off. I don't think a three-point shooting contest throws off anybody.
All right. Good point. I like that. All right. NHL, your sport, you love it. Big announcement this week with ESPN/Disney, a multi-billion-dollar 7-year contract. It's going to be on all the platforms on ESPN/Disney, ABC, Hulu, whatever. 4 Stanley Cups. Is this a great move for hockey?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously ESPN is the go-to for sports and entertainment. As a Comcast NBC Universal employee, I must say that I'm not as happy that it's being taken away from NBC. I feel like that Peacock and the NHL have kind of been synonymous over the last few years. You are
correct.
You watch NBC Sports Network. Every playoff game is on NBC Sports Network. You don't miss a game. So it'd be a little different, but to get that brand behind them is a good thing for the NHL. And they're still going to still have games on NBC as well. Correct.
So does that mean Stephen A. Smith and Max now have to finally after 10 years talk about hockey on this show?
Oh man, well, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, as we know, the guy's very opinionated, and sometimes he comes off the wrong way, and he can piss a lot of people off in a hurry, including anybody who's a Dallas Cowboys fan. but
good point.
But he also makes some good points. he does talk down to people who may not be as connoisseurs of the NBA and basketball as he is, because he is an absolute connoisseur of the NBA. So I just hope he gets a taste of his own medicine when he tries to talk about hockey.
Does that mean you have to go back and watch the remedial videos of the Fox laser hockey puck videos?
It's going to be something to see. I hope they do it. I can't wait to watch, First Take and stuff, come next year or whenever. When does it start? The 20? Yeah, it'll be this September, right?
2021, yes, in the fall.
Yeah.
They have to. If ESPN is carrying it, they're gonna have to talk about it. I can't wait. I'm with you, man. That's gonna be funny. Oh man, it's gonna be funny. All right, let's talk a little football. Whoa, we got some irony today. The Pats signed another one-year deal with Cam Newton for $14 million. On the same day, Tom Brady says, "I'll take a pay cut so my teammates can get better contracts for Tampa Bay." What is the irony of that, PB?
I know. It's amazing. It really is. And for Brady to sign a deal like that at his age is just incredible. And he's still, all he wants to do is win. He needs the weapons around him, so they're going to be able to pay him. I know they're going to tag Godwin, I believe. And that's important. And he's still going to have Mike Evans there. And hopefully they can re-sign AB as well. And their running backs, and they're going to have the same offensive team and Gronk's coming back. So they're going to have the same offensive team basically that they had last year. And this will allow them to start also pay some of the defensive players that they need to re-up. I think there's one key player. Shaq is the main guy they need to re-up. And then you're bringing the same team back. So why wouldn't they be favorites to repeat the Super Bowl?
So let me ask you the other question here. Was that a good move for the Pats?
No, not at all. I mean, no, Cam's not the answer. Cam is not the answer. I don't care what kind of weapons you're going out and planning on getting. He's just not the answer. He's washed up. The guy is absolutely washed up. I don't have any hopes of the Patriots. Maybe if they have all their defensive, roster in place, they can pull for a 500 season. Maybe they go 9-7. Maybe they sniff the playoffs, depending on how some of the other teams do in the AFC. But I would have absolutely no reason at all to put them into the conference championship or further.
By the way, his contract is for $14 million. I think last year he played for like a $2 million contract.
Yeah, well, it's incentive laden too. I think 6 of it's actually based on incentives.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
and they have $66 million available in the cap space this year.
Yeah,
Why would they have done that? I don't get it. Why would they have done that? I don't know.
Yeah, this is a quarterback-driven, passing-driven league, and that's not what Cam Newton brings to the table. He just doesn't fit the mold of what teams need to do in the NFL. They go up against Mahommes, or they go up against Jeff Allen and Buffalo. They're not going to stand a chance. Yep. They're not going to stand a chance.
Oh, by the way, you mentioned Mahommes. His team had to cut the 2 starting offensive tackles before the Super Bowl. They were both injured and couldn't play, and we saw how that worked out. And now they're off the roster because of Mahomes' contract. PB, you can't pay this kind of money for quarterbacks, I don't think. And we're going to talk about the other one in a minute.
Yeah, you can't put all your eggs in one basket in the NFL. You can't overpay players. I mean, this is a perfect example we just talked about with Brady. Once you start overpaying players, that money has to come from somewhere. And when you can't put the right offensive talent, now, if they're keeping Kelsey, they're keeping Hill, they got CEH at running back, and then they got the dude who was went out for COVID at the beginning of the year at running back. They'll be fine. They'll be fine offensively
but they can't block. They have tackles.
Right. They'll be fine with their skill players. The question is that offensive line, and we saw what happened in the Super Bowl. Now, granted, Tampa Bay's defense is pretty fierce and probably have one of the best front sevens in the entire NFL. That doesn't mean every other team in the NFL can do to Kansas City what Tampa did to Kansas City, but still, you've got to have that protection. And we saw what happened without Fisher, without Schwartz. I mean, our KC insider that we talk to regularly has told us that Schwartz has had chronic back issues, and this might be a good release for them. So I can't necessarily say whether or not that's going to have an impact, but Fisher for sure.
But they don't have a replacement. That's the bottom line. They're not going to draft high. They were in the Super Bowl. You're not going to get a first-round pick that's going to start tomorrow at the offensive line. So even though he has back problems, what are they going to do? If they don't get a free agent, which they can't because of Mahommes' contract, they're screwed.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for them. It is. I mean, now, just like they were saying going to the Super Bowl, Mahomes more than anybody else in the NFL can make plays happen on nothing. We saw some throws when he was horizontal to the ground in a couple plays, right? That I was just like, I can't believe he's actually throwing that ball, and the guy almost caught it too. So he can do some amazing things behind there. But if you're ever just running for your life, it's going to impact you. That's not a recipe for a Super Bowl team. That's a recipe for an exciting, fun team to watch, but not a recipe for a Super Bowl team.
All right, PB, before we move on to the next big one, I got one bold prediction for you. I got a funny feeling Mr. Mahomes, and nobody talks about him being the GOAT. I think he wins one Super Bowl only like Aaron Rodgers. That's just what I say today. That's my feeling. I don't know. I don't think Casey is going to be able to support him. We'll see.
Yeah, the only thing is in the AFC right now, and things can change in 5 years from now, whatever, but right now in the AFC, I just don't see a lot of real good competition that can compete with him. I mean, what are you talking? I mean, I'm not a fan of Carson Wentz at all. I don't think, even though I like Indy's core, I don't think that's the answer there. I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson, especially come crunch time. The guy's he's played. He almost was one and done 3 years in a row in the playoffs. He got by one round and lost there. Josh Allen and company in Buffalo is the only team that might be able to compete with Kansas, but I don't think they have the right pieces to compete with Kansas City either. So, but for that reason alone, I think he can get back to the dance in 2 or 3 of the next 4 or 5 years for sure. And then once you're in the dance, then you have a chance of winning, right?
That's true. You're right. We'll have to see. All right. So the other big news in the NFL, the Cowboys finally signed a contract with Dak for some outrageous money. I mean, 4 years, $160 million. But this year alone, going to 2021, it's a $75 million payout, 66 in signing bonus, the biggest ever. By the way, I don't understand this, PB. How do you pay a guy $75 million, but it only counts 19 against the salary cap?
Yeah, that's the way they lay out the contract. But even still, they're so top heavy. Like their top 5 players, including Amari Cooper and including a couple of the defensive players, linemen, they're so top heavy with their salary that after those 4 or 5 guys, it's just a crap show, and that's going to hurt their depth. That's going to hurt their sustainability, if you will, over these next few years. I'm not sure this is the answer for how to win a Super Bowl for that team.
So that begs my next question. Will Dak win a Super Bowl in this contract?
No, and unlike the AFC that I just mentioned, that there's no competition and Mahomes should be right there every single year. It's the opposite in the NFC. There's too much competition, right? Yes. I mean, we don't even know right now with Stafford in LA with the Rams, they could be one of the best teams in the league. And then you still got the Seahawks with Russell Wilson competing every year. You still got the Packers with Rodgers. You still got the Vikings, who I'm not going to go to sleep on because they got some great offensive talent there in that team, and their defense is getting more and more improved. You got, Tampa Bay still with Brady compete. I mean, there's like 6 or 7 teams in the NFC that could make the Super Bowl potentially next year. When you look at the AFC, it's 1 or 2 teams that's going to make the Super Bowl. So with that theory, how can you put Dallas even close to a Super Bowl appearance, let alone a Super Bowl victory?
I don't see it. I'm with you, and I love Dallas, but I don't see. I'm with you. I don't think Dak plays all 4 years there. I just, the way it's going nowadays with Carson and Jared Goff being let go, traded before their contracts ended, I don't see it happening. All right. Hey, I got one quick question for you. The latest news out of Houston, Deshaun is the starting quarterback, and there is no backup.
We've been talking about this.
Stupid? Are they stupid?
They're probably the dumbest franchise in the NFL, if not in the 4 major sports. But
sports, I love it.
Right? I mean, if you think about it, it's a disaster there. I mean, everybody's set up for failure, basically.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this every show. you gotta make a move while the iron's hot. Once the draft happens and everyone starts trading up and down and figuring all this stuff out, nobody's gonna. All their plans are done. They've already made their plans. And
right.
What if he holds out? They're gonna look like the biggest idiots ever. I mean, this could be it could be a disaster. It could be a disaster. And you know what they got to do? They have with Tennessee behind Vrabel and what they're doing there in Tennessee. They're doing some good things, right? They could potentially contend for the playoffs. You got Indy, who's got a great core, probably, offensive and deep, maybe the best assembled team as a whole in the NFL, potentially. I'm not a fan of Wentz, as I said. And now you have Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence and Robinson, who was a star running back as a rookie last year. There's some teams, they could finish last in that division for the next 4 or 5 years if they don't figure stuff out.
That's a good point. All right, let me move on real quick. We're going to talk more about this during the week on our March Madness show. But we've got college basketball starting up. The league championship is going on right now. And PB, I'm already worried about this because we've had 3 teams. Yesterday was Duke. They had to forfeit the rest of the tournament, and now they can't get in the NCAAs because they don't have a good enough record. They had to win the league championship. Kansas today and Virginia today, which was the number 1 seed in the ACC, had to back out because of COVID. Are we in trouble for March Madness, do you think, potentially?
Potentially. It's hard to tell with these colleges and universities what's really going on, but yeah.
It's crazy.
It could be. This could be a big asterisk type of tournament.
And by the way, so let me mention that. So I just read the rules today. As long as you can put 5 guys on the floor, right now in the league championships, if one person tests positive, you're out. But as long as you can have 5 healthy guys, you can put them on the floor, you can play. But the same token, if you don't have 5, you forfeit. So, I mean, you could get herd, they say herd immunity, but you could have a herd virus, right? And everybody's infected. You don't have 5 guys playing, right? At the end of the day, It's going to be crazy. They are playing. They're not having a bubble. They are playing in Indianapolis, but they're going to play over 6 courts in the first 2 rounds, and then they whittle it down after that. By the way, this year's all different. Every year you're used to being Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This year it's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, first round, followed by, let me see if I get this right. I made my notes on this thing. This is crazy, Pete. Then they're going to play the following weekend. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be the next round, Sunday, Monday. And then right after that, they're going to play Saturdays and Sunday for the Sweet 16, followed by Monday, Tuesday for the Elite 8. So we're going to have NCAA March Madness on multiple weekdays, which means the economy's going to shut down, right? Because who's going to be working? They're going to be playing and watching the sports.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is going to be crazy. Well, hey, we're going to do our show real quick. Do you have any thoughts who you like?
Well, I was pretty high on Michigan until they got ousted by Michigan State in the tourney, which if they don't get a top 4 seed, one of the number 1 seeds, that could hurt them because then they could get a bad draw and be in the same bracket as, say, Gonzaga or Baylor.
Yes.
But if they can get a 1 seed and stay in their own bracket and come out of that and make the Final Four, I like that potential. Another team not to sleep on here is Houston. Houston's probably going to get a 2 seed in one of the brackets. As long as they're not in that same bracket as Gonzaga, they could come out and get into the Final Four, I think, for sure. But it's going to be interesting. Good competition. You got Alabama, you got Iowa. You got some other teams that are.
Speaking of Alabama, if they win NCAAs in basketball after winning football, I don't know if it's ever been done where a college has won football and then basketball right after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think last year we talked about there was only 3 schools in the entire country who even made the NCAA tournament and the
college football playoffs.
Well, no, hockey. I was doing hockey.
Hockey. Yeah.
There's only 3 teams who made hockey, but the college football playoffs only 4 teams make it. So that's going to be always slim pickings there. But Yeah. So interesting stuff.
All right. So St. Patrick's Day, we're gonna have a celebration, and we're gonna do our bracket picks. Is that our plan?
Yeah, we'll do maybe we do them Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have to just see how the week goes.
All right. That's what we'll do, man. All right. Sports fans, PB&C Sports Chaos. Hope you liked it. We'll talk to you soon. PB, I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, my man.